Hey you guys, so talking to you today about corset training / waist training. I did a video previously, but I just want to give a little more detail in this particular video. I may touch on some points that I did on the previous video, but I'm going to touch on more things as well. So I'm basically just going to get into a little bit more detail about actual waist training or corset training, tight lacing, because there seems to be a lot of confusion going on. Me personally, I've actually been doing it off and on for over 2 years, so I've done a lot of research, but I'm gonna try to make sure this video is not extremely lengthy. So let's start with corsets versus waist cinchers. True corsets have steel boning in them, which are steel rods that go from top to bottom in the corset, which you can see I'm wearing one now. You can actually see the steel boning, which are these ridges. Okay, it has steel boning, and what a real corset is going to do is shape your body internally. That's what it does. It shapes your body internally so that you can see the structure of that change externally. It reshapes your rib cage, so it narrows the bottom of your rib cage like this. And then it also, over time, if you really do it consistently and you start doing tight lacing, it can compress your internal organs as well. There are some risks to doing that, so I do suggest you do your research. I will include some links in the description box below for you to take a look at. Please do research outside of those links as well, okay? And if you have back problems, please consult your doctor before you consider doing waist training if you have any health problems whatsoever, but mainly back problems, or if you're pregnant, okay? Corsets do not burn fat at all. They're not a fat burning mechanism. They do not make you lose weight. They may help you lose weight because of other things that they do, but they do not help you lose weight just by wearing one. And they do support and stabilize your core, which would be your abdominal muscles and your back. So they support them by holding you in and up, and they also stabilize by keeping you that way. So one thing you want to do because of that, your body can become dependent on it if you are consistently corset training. So what you need to do is make sure you keep your abdominal muscles strong. You need to make sure you exercise them, work them out, do, you know, crunches, whatever you need to do to train your core outside of wearing this corset, so when you take it off, your muscles under there are still strong, so you don't become dependent on it and feel weak and slouchy when you take it off. This should be something that helps you and not hinders you or hurts you. With a steel-boned corset, it's important that you understand that initially when you start wearing the corset, it's going to feel uncomfortable, but it should never feel painful. If you feel any pain wearing your corset, you need to unlace it, take it off, start over again, so that you lace it to the point where you don't feel pain. If it's consistently, you need to stop wearing it and go see a doctor. You should never have your corset laced so tight that you have trouble breathing. You should never lace your corset so tight that it's pinching your skin or causing any pain in your back or stomach. So with that being said, you also want to make sure that when your corset is laced, you're still able to move a little bit. I can move, but you don't want to move too much because you don't want to bend the steel bones, the boning. You don't want to bend it out of shape. Okay, so you definitely want to be careful when you're moving, but you should still be able to move. Also, for women who have really large breasts, I'm not talking about large like mine. Like mine, I have a large cup size, but my breasts are not that big in proportion to my body. I'm talking about women who have really large breasts visually that you can see, and you know what I'm talking about if you have them. For women like that, you will want to purchase a corset with a front bust closure. This is important, extremely important, because while you may be able to get this type of corset on, when it comes time to take it off, you're going to be really pissed off. It's going to be difficult, and I'll show you why in my next video. But just if you have large breasts, please, please consider the front bust closure corset. It's going to make your life a lot easier. Trust me when I say this, okay? It's taking a corset off like this, you have to pull it over your head. With the front bust closure, putting it on, you can just hook these, wrap it around you and hook it, and then lace it in the back, and then taking it off, you loosen the laces and then unhook it. It makes things a lot easier rather than trying to get a corset like this over your head, but getting it over your breast first. Okay, that's a tough task, so please consider the front bust closure if you have extremely large breasts. Waist cinchers, the results are temporary, and they work by compressing your body or skin from the outside just to give you this temporary shape, and it also helps to expel or burn water weight and heats everything up. That's usually why you tend to see results from waist cinchers a lot faster than you see results from corsets. But that's a temporary change. Your shape will come right back the next day if you go out and eat some pizza and drink a bunch of soda. It's a very temporary change. It doesn't change the structure of your body. With a corset, the results are permanent if done properly and can take months to years to see noticeable results visually with a corset because of the type of change that it's doing to your body. It's a structural change that's done internally, and you would only see the results from the rib cage shifting. You're not, I mean, of course you're not going to see your internal organs outside, but you will see the result of them being compressed. And if you check the links below, you'll see more information about that and do some more research, because you can see some pictures of examples of what it might look like internally when your organs are compressed. Instead of being spread out throughout your, midsection, they get compressed and pushed down. With a corset, in order to see real lasting results and noticeable results and to help keep your results permanent, you will need to eat a healthy diet and exercise regularly. It's going to speed up the process, it's going to speed up your results, but it's also going to help you maintain those results. And so if you want to see that hourglass, the corset, it's going to help over an extended period of time. If you want to see faster results, you need to eat better and work out, because that's going to help you see results much, much faster. Okay, just trust me on this. I'm going to show you while I'm documenting my own journey later. That was corsets versus cinchers. If you have any more questions for me about that particular topic, leave your questions below in the comment section, and I will be sure to address them either in the comment section or I may do another video. And I'm going to move on to the next topic. So then you need to think about what type of corsets you want to wear for waist training. I personally purchased my corsets from a company whose link is down below, and I purchased the corset that they list as a training corset. This training corset is an underbust corset. You always want to start with an underbust corset. The overbust corsets, they don't do the same, they don't do exactly the same thing as an underbust corset. Oh, so just take it from me. If you want to do more research, fine, but start with an underbust corset. I love the training corset from this company because it does not have a front bust closure. It's flat. You can get a front bust closure, which I will show you what that looks like. It looks like this. And the bust is not closed, which is why you can't see, but this is a front bust closure. It closes like this in the front. So it has, there you go, this in the front. That's a front bust closure. I personally don't wear these for training most of the time because of this front bust. Okay, and generally it is very flat so that you cannot see it if you wear it under your clothes, but I still typically don't like these to wear under my clothes. I like them more so to wear over. So I personally like the flat front. Your closure, you want to make, not closure, corset, stuck on here. Your corset, you want to make sure that it has steel boning. The one I have has like over 20 something steel, spiral steel and whatever, bones in it, boning. And that helps, it actually does the job of doing the actual shaping, because that steel boning holds you in place when you tighten it, because your body is not about to fight with steel to bust out of the corset. Okay, the steel is what holds it in and is what shapes your bone and compresses your organs. You can also wear your corset underneath your clothes or on top of your clothes. The only issue is with form-fitting clothing, it's going to be very difficult to wear it underneath because you at some point are going to see some part of the corset. For me, I tend to see the bottom more than anything, and sometimes you can actually see the boning. So just keep that in mind when you're considering waist training / corset training, period. Alright, so if you have any questions about that, what type of corset to choose, make sure you leave a comment below and I will address your question. Now I'm going to talk about measuring and sizing. As far as measuring and sizing, corsets are measured based on the waist and your natural waist. Some corsets take more measurements into consideration. Some will take your under bust measurement, your hip measurement, your lower waist measurement. It's several measurements into consideration. A corset like this one that has a halter on it or one that has straps may take your shoulder measurements or your arm measurements into consideration. So definitely make sure whichever corset you may decide to purchase, check out their sizing chart and what measurements they require, and they should explain to you how to measure. The corset that I'm wearing, the only measurement I needed was my natural waist measurement, and it is recommended from the company where I purchased my corset to take your natural waist measurement without a corset on and then subtract 4 to 6 inches from that measurement. Once you subtract 4 to 6 inches, that is the size corset that you should order. So if I have a natural 30-inch waist, then the size corset I should order is either a 24 or a 26. Most really good corsets are going to be custom made to fit your measurements unless the company has a stock of all of their different sizes. Most corsets that are plus size, or if someone needs a corset that's smaller than a standard size, those usually always have to be custom made based on your measurements. So take into consideration when you order corsets, it may take a few weeks for you to get it because a lot of companies are making them to order so that it fits you perfectly, fits you and only you. You may be able to find some companies, like I said, that have them in stock, but you also want to make sure with those types of companies you check the quality of the corsets, because that's going to play a large part in not only your results, but the durability and how long your corset is going to last, because you don't want to have to replace them too soon because they can be costly. So now I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me, which I touched on in my last corset video, but I just want to go into a little more detail as far as me and corset training. I actually started doing this, as I said before, over 2 years ago. And I got my first corset from the company listed below in the description box. And their prices were the same years ago as they are now. I think it was maybe a little more now. It was, I think, $139 for the training corset. And I got one that looks exactly like the one I have on, but I got it in a bigger size. I think a size 26. And eventually, over time, I did size down and have to go down and get a 22, which is what I have on now. And when I initially started years ago, I was wearing the corset up to 22 hours a day. I was wearing it all day, with the exception of taking a shower and working out. I was sleeping in it, all that jazz. Eventually, I tapered off to wearing it about 16 hours a day. Then eventually, I kind of tapered off to just wearing it sporadically. So I was consistent enough to definitely see results, and those results have been permanent because I never had a real shape at all, no hips whatsoever. So even when I'm on my heavier side, I still have a curve, which I did not have before. Why I started wearing the corsets and doing the corset training, part of it was to try to give myself a shape and slim my waist, but a large part of it was to help with back pain because I do have a back injury, a back, neck, and shoulder injury. So I started really wearing the corset to help with my back because I have never had a really strong core, and so the corset I found was helping relieve some of the pressure and tension off of my back and my shoulders, and it also lifted up my breast so that that wasn't heavy on my shoulders, and it helps relieve some of the pain from my back injury. because it supports your core and stabilizes your back. And how it supports your core, it helps keep everything pulled in. What we tend to do is when your abdominal muscles are relaxed, they spill out, which is when you see people who have a belly, when it's, you know, hanging out, and then they start to slouch. But when your core, your abdominal muscles are supported, it pulls you in, and it kind of makes you sit up straighter. And that's the main reason why I started wearing them, is for back support. What I also do while I'm wearing the corset, and this is very important, throughout the day while I have it on, I contract my abdominal muscles. I just kind of squeeze them in, and I hold them in for a while, and then I'll release them. I do this to train my abdominal muscles to stay contracted, to stay flat, to stay pulled in, so that when I take this corset off, my muscles aren't weak, and I'm not like, oh my gosh, I need my corset in order to be pulled up straight. I'm trying to train those abdominal muscles so when I take this corset off, they stay and I'm still up straight, because I don't want to be dependent on it forever in regards to my back pain. So currently I'm wearing the corset for about 12 to 16 hours a day, almost 7 days a week. I do not wear it when I exercise or shower. When I do work out, I take the corset off and I wear a waist trimmer belt, which to me is kind of like a waist cincher. It's a neoprene waist trimmer belt. This one actually has magnets in the back and it helps stabilize your back. It's by Everlast. I got it at Walmart. But what this does is, for me, it keeps my abdominals still pulled in as much as it can, and it also does help your body generate more heat while you're working out, and it extracts water, it makes you sweat, which helps slim things down. But I do make sure I drink a lot of water also when I'm wearing this. I do eat a healthy diet now. If you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you will see I am juicing and making green smoothies, well, fruit and vegetable smoothies all day long. That's all. I mean, I probably eat 1, maybe 2 standard meals a day. Everything else is smoothies and juice and raw food, snacks. I'm really trying to get back to the basics and eat healthy, eat the way that we were meant to eat. One thing about wearing the corset, as far as what it does to you internally, just doing to me now, you have to be careful because it does affect your digestion. I sometimes will get heartburn because everything moves down slower because you're compressed. So you have to be careful with what you eat and drink. Definitely don't want to drink soda because you're not going to be able to really drink it. And because it does make your food digest slower, then you tend to eat less. But I prefer to eat small meals throughout the day, so I just make sure that I continue to eat those small meals and I don't eat too much because it takes a long time for your food to digest. I know when I do wear this corset, gas is non-existent, and I think it's because because you're compressed, maybe it prevents air from going down there. I'm not sure how that works. I never really researched that part of it, but I do notice I don't ever have gas when I'm wearing this corset, which is a great thing. I do, however, get heartburn, as I said, if I eat or drink something that can eventually cause heartburn when it's digested slowly, because it is digested slowly with this on. I also don't like to put it on right after eating, because then it will hold your food right there in the top of your stomach and it may cause some indigestion. Eating healthy and exercising is a major component of this corset and waist training. I want you guys to always remember that. There's no fast diet that's going to help you see the results you want to see. You have to make that lifestyle change, because this corset changes the internal structure of your body. It's not something that happens quickly. So the change you need to make for yourself as far as diet and exercise, you also need to make that a permanent change, because you want to see everything happen consistently. You don't want to go on some crazy diet where you lose tons of weight, because your body structure is not going to change that quickly. Okay, it's going to take a long time. So you can go on a crazy diet, lose a bunch of weight, and then when you stop, if you end up gaining it back, or, you know, getting discouraged because you're not seeing the results you really want to see as far as the shape, then that can be disastrous or detrimental. So I encourage everyone to try to live a healthier lifestyle all around when you're doing this. You know, try to incorporate a little more exercise into your daily routine, even if it's just maybe adding some walking. Start small and build up, start trying to incorporate healthier foods into your routine, even if it's stopping at Jamba Juice and getting an apples and greens smoothie. Don't get the fruit smoothie, you get one with vegetables in it. Then, I mean, it's going to help. You have to start somewhere. You don't have to start large, start small and gradually build up, because that's what I did. I worked my way up now to eating very, very healthy, drinking tons of water, and now working out really hard, doing insanity and going to the gym a lot. But we all have to start somewhere, as I did. So I'm just trying to share with you what I went through, what I've done in order for me to get to the point where I'm at now, because it may be able to help you. As far as maintenance of the corset, you always want to make sure you wear a liner underneath it before you put it on. And I mean, a liner is a tube top, a tank top, a camisole, something like this, a protective barrier that you put on your body before you put the corset on, because this corset can chafe your skin and it can cause irritation, but your skin will also can also damage the corset, okay? So you want to make sure that you have a protective barrier between your skin and the corset, because oils from your skin can break down the materials and your corset will not last as long. It's going to break down the fabrics. As far as cleaning, I just wash mine by hand, maybe once every week or 2 weeks, and then I just lay it flat to dry. Okay, sometimes I lay it flat, sometimes I'll hang it over my towel rack to dry and wait until it's completely dry before I wear it. You also want to make sure you have more than one to rotate. If you're going to do this consistently, you need to rotate more than one corset, because you're going to wear it down way too fast if you are trying to wear the same one. You also want to make sure you break your corset in properly, and you also need to consider the fact that just because you are wearing a corset in corset training doesn't mean you have to be plain and simple. I've been doing this for such a long time, and I just started purchasing corsets that are more fashionable so that I can wear them on top of my clothing and still be cute without, you know, looking like I'm wearing the same thing every day. So I'll show you a couple of the ones that I purchased recently because they're really cute. I showed you this one already. And I mean, they're still good for training because they're the underbust corsets. So I showed you this one. It's a halter. It goes around the neck like this, and then it comes under the bust. And it has the front bust. And then it also has the little points at the bottom. And it's pinstriped, and it's really super cute. I got it from the same company that I got my training corset from, listed below. And then the ties in the back. You can actually see how long it's been since I purchased my corset, because the tag I have is blank and it just has the number 22 written on it. And they've upgraded to actual tags with printed label, a printed tag now. So you can see how long I've been doing it. But I love this one. It doesn't have the same amount of boning as the training corset, but it's still something, if you want to be fashionable, you can always switch up to something that's not the typical basic training corset, and you know, wear it every once in a while. And the training corsets that I get also come in off-white. So what I did previously when I was purchasing my corsets, I would get the off-white and then dye them using Rit dye in a washing machine, and I would dye them different colors so that I could, you know, have many different color corsets, which is what I did previously. Another one that I got, I love this one. Are you guys ready? Because I love earth tones, so make sure I'm holding it up right. Now, isn't this one gorgeous? Now, this one's a shorter corset. That's more of a cincher corset, not a regular waist cincher, but a cincher corset. So you see it's shorter than the one I have on. The one I have on is curved. It's just a tiny bit shorter. And it has the white laces in the back. But this one's awesome because it can go with a lot of different colors because it's neutral. I love it. I just love the fact that now I've learned that I can be fashionable wearing my corsets on top of my clothes without having to wear the same one all the time, or the same color, or the same style. So definitely look into variety. I didn't purchase these all off the bat. I started with one, and then I realized I needed to have another, so I'm not wearing the same one all the time. Then I decided to start gradually, you know, maybe one here, one every couple of months, because they can be pricey. These two were, this one might have been $99 or something, and I think this one was $150, but for the quality, they're gonna last me for many, many years to come. And I always order the same size. So I order 22 so that I continue to train down to the right size. Also, you wanna make sure that when you get to close the corset in all the way in the back, this one is not closed all the way. You see I still have some room. Once it closes all the way in the back where these two sides touch, where those two sides touch, that's when you want to size down to another corset, to, you know, the next size down. That's all I can think of. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to comment below. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you my waist measurement so that you can keep track of it, because I will be checking in with you guys in the next month, because I'm going to be tracking my progress, not with just the waist training, but with also the exercise and healthy eating, so we can see some real results and real progress. I will also be showing you guys photos at the end of this video of me and my progress with the waist training, because it has helped me. I will say that my band size here, my bra band size, it's changed. I'm not the same band size since I started. I started at a 34 and now I wear a 30. And for many of you know that when you wear a good bra and you're not extremely heavy, your band size, your rib cage, it's not going to just shrink when you lose weight. So I'm at a point, the only way my band is going to shrink now is if my ribs condense even more. But you can see from the photos that I'm going to show you, my ribs actually did, my rib cage actually did kind of shrink. And that was over the course of consistently wearing the corset for 6 months straight while exercising. So it wasn't the 4 inches from one picture to the next. From the first picture to the next, it was only, not inches, but 2. I went from a 32 to a 30 in my bra size, my band. And so I went from a 32E, yeah, to a 30F. So my cup size, it stayed the same. I'm not going to go into bra sizing. But yeah, I'm going to show you those photos. So you'll see some real results. And I will track my results from this point forward in the future. And also, I want to mention, check out, there's another channel on YouTube I want you to check out, The Real Cali's Finest. And her link's going to be below. She's, she might be the only other YouTuber that I personally know of at this point in time that's also doing this properly with a real steel-boned corset, and her videos have tons of information. She's actually more detailed than I am, so definitely check her out for more information on corset training. And I'm following her journey as well. She's actually local to me, so hopefully we can link up soon, maybe work out or something. I don't know, work something out. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave your comments below, and I will talk to you all soon. Don't forget to check out the lacing video and all the other videos that I'm recording today. I'll tell you guys later. Bye. This will be considered day 1 for corset training / waist training, even though it's year 3. I'm going to go ahead and do my measurements for documentation. First measurement I'm going to do under bust. I'm going to measure from the top down. Start with my under bust. 29 inches. Waist, natural waist. 30.5 inches.